Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever had that sudden deep urge to just connect with nature? But then you feel like, well, I gotta book a flight to some remote national park to actually do it, right? Well, today's explainer is gonna completely flip that idea on its head. We're exploring this really beautiful, incredibly accessible concept of finding a profound connection with the natural world, literally right outside our own windows. And it all starts with the creatures that already share our everyday spaces.
I actually want to start our time together with this really evocative quote. It goes, "The journey does not begin with distant wilderness. It begins when we pause and notice the birds already among us." I want you to take a quick mental pause and just reflect on that for a second. Because look, we live in this hyper-fast modern world, and it is so incredibly easy to feel totally isolated and disconnected from our environment. We're constantly staring at our screens, rushing through our concrete jungles, and honestly, in doing so, we completely overlook the vibrant living ecosystems operating right above our heads. So to guide us out of that modern disconnect, we're going to explore some amazing insights from a truly fascinating book called Birds Among Us, which is our source material for today. It's written by Dr. Shivananda S., and he brings such a brilliant, unique perspective to this. Get this, he's an oral and maxillofacial surgeon, an academic, and an avid bird observer. This awesome blend of scientific rigor and just passionate observation makes him the absolute perfect guide to help us rethink our daily environment. All right, here is our quick roadmap for today. First, nature is already among us. Second, the 5-step journey. Third, why this book is different. And finally, closing the circle.
Let's jump right into part 1. Nature is already among us, rediscovering our connection to the natural world.
So, if you've been craving a deeper bond with the earth but felt kind of boxed in by city living, or an apartment building, or honestly just a really jam-packed schedule, this section absolutely validates that feeling. You don't need to travel to distant forests to find the wild. It's waiting for you right now. At the very core of this book's philosophy is this incredible concept, reciprocity. It's the practice of acknowledging what birds give us, and critically, understanding what we owe in return. The book promises a method for achieving a mutual balance between humanity and nature, and reciprocity, that is the engine driving the whole shebang. It isn't just about us passively enjoying some birdsong, it's about actively cultivating a two-way street of respect and care. And this brilliantly illustrates that idea. Every bird we notice is a reminder that nature is not distant, it is already here, among us. This is just a massive, fundamental shift in perspective. Think about it. When you observe a seemingly ordinary, everyday sparrow just hopping around on the sidewalk, you're actually looking at a direct, immediate connection to massive ecological concepts. That little sparrow is part of a complex food web. It disperses seeds. It adapts to our human architecture. Suddenly, the ordinary becomes profoundly important. Moving on to Section 2, the 5-step journey, a structured path to living in reciprocity. So the crucial point here is where we shift gears from a beautiful but abstract philosophy into a highly actionable daily framework. Dr. Shivananda breaks this journey down into 5 concrete progressive steps. Notice, understand, connect, live in return, and close the circle. He designed these specifically to transform simple daily observation from a fleeting little moment into a lifelong practice of environmental stewardship. Let's break each one down. Step 1 is the absolute foundation. Notice. Just pause and notice the birds around you. It sounds almost too easy, right? But think about how often we walk outside with our headphones in, staring down at our phones, totally oblivious to the world. This step is the inciting incident of our entire journey. I actually want to challenge you physically, the next time you step outside your door, to just pause, look up, see what's flying past you or perched on a nearby fence. That deliberate act of noticing, that is the spark. Once we've actually noticed, we seamlessly move into step 2, understand. This is where we actively learn their behavior, their ecology, and the intricate web of life they belong to. Moving from merely noticing to truly understanding expands our view from the micro right to the macro. You aren't just looking at a bird anymore, you're decoding how that single creature fits into a massive, interconnected ecosystem. For example, noticing how a specific local bird interacts with native insects, or how it adapts urban materials for its nest. That instantly brings those huge ecological principles right into your own backyard. Let's move to how this builds into step 3, connect. The goal here is to build a deeper bond with nature, our communities, and the wider world. Notice how the scope keeps widening as we go? Understanding the ecology naturally fosters a deeper bond not just with the natural world, but with the people around us. When you care about local habitats, you start connecting with other members of your community who also care, bringing us all closer together.
Then we have step 4, live in return. This requires a vital shift from passive observation to active participation. This right here is reciprocity in action. It's all about doing small, everyday things that collectively make a huge impact, making sure we're actually giving back to the environments that sustain us.
And finally, we arrive at step 5, close the circle. Create a sustainable, harmonious relationship where we live in balance with all life. Think of this as the ultimate goal of the whole practice. By noticing, understanding, connecting, and giving back, humanity and nature can thrive together in this beautiful, sustainable loop. Every single step we just took brings us closer to a world where we aren't just taking from nature, but living in total harmonious balance with it.
All right, section 3. Why this book is different. Blending disciplines for complete perspective. There are plenty of standard bird identification manuals out there in the world, right? So we really need to look at why Dr. Shivananda's work stands out as such a unique, multidisciplinary guide for the modern reader. The material basically rests on 4 distinct, really exciting pillars. First, everyday birds, teaching us to learn from the ones immediately around us. Second, science, helping us discover fascinating ecology, behavior, and biomimicry. Third, culture, exploring the rich tapestry of mythology, stories, and local traditions related to birds. And fourth, action, offering simple, highly effective ways to give back. This really demonstrates how this isn't just a field manual. It's a deeply well-rounded philosophical guide. Now, what's really fascinating here is how seamlessly the author bridges the gap between totally different ways of knowing. You have hard, complex scientific concepts like biomimicry sitting right alongside the deep cultural heritage of mythology and historical storytelling. It honors observation, knowledge, heritage, and action all at once. And that creates a truly holistic approach to nature that engages both the mind and the heart.
Which brings us to our final section, section 4, closing the circle, making the practice a lifelong habit.
Here, we're really focusing on the long-term impact of integrating these practices into our daily routines. Because ultimately, this isn't just about us. It's about our inherent responsibility to future generations. As Dr. Shivananda beautifully writes to conclude his thoughts, the journey does not end with the last page. It begins every time we pause and notice the birds around us. This perfectly reiterates the message that this is not a one-time lesson you read and then just toss on a bookshelf to gather dust. It's an ongoing, cyclical journey of awakening that refreshes itself every single day you wake up.
So what does this all mean for you? I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Will you pause and notice the birds around you today? The opportunity to connect, to learn, and to live in true reciprocity is literally waiting for you right outside your door. But it's up to you to take that first step. I enthusiastically challenge you to look outside your window right now, notice the life happening around you, and start your own journey. Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today, and keep learning.